I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I will going to talk about the differentiation and functions of CD8 cells. Actually, CD8 effector cells, the ones which are already developed into a functional unit. And then, of course, in the next session, I will going to enjoy the beauty of your descriptions and your explanations about the stuff related to molecular immunology. Okay, so just beware of that session as well. Don't get scared, but please don't get scared. So we will have you guys on board in the next session. Okay, so let me try in the first session where we will be studying about the differentiation and functions of CD. Last time, if you can recall, we have studied the differentiation and function of CD4 cells, the CD4 effector cells, Th1 cells, Th2 cells, how they able to grab and detect the different types of troubles and how they able to execute their functions. So in this lecture, it's a very small lecture having not enough information. Just it will be around CD8 cells. Okay, so we will see how they got differentiated, how they produce effector cells, and how they're able to execute their function. I think this is going to be the last thing we will be talking about T cells and beta cells, and then we will close this chapter forever. We will move and we will move on. We will have our breakup with these things. So let's see the function of the CD8 cells. The primary function of the CD8 cell is to kill the cells. And I always highlighted that stuff, that it is not a very it is a very I must say specialized function. You are not supposed to allow any cell to kill any other cell. I mean, it's a very special privilege or a power which you are giving to someone. So the CD8 cells, they do carry the potential. They do carry the potential that they are killers. They can kill the cell. So if they are able to kill the cells, they should be very much trained. They should be very well educated. They should know who is the enemy and who is the friend and who is the foe. So that is very much required if you allow or give the license to kill to any cell. So CD8 cells, when it will become a bad cell, or when it will become a killer cell, it contains and understands this communication pathway. That communication which occurs between the MSC and the TCR. And remember, this MSC is a different MSC than the MSC2 present in the CD4 cells. Okay, this is a different MSC. You can recall what sort of MSC this one, which help the cells to communicate with the CD8 cells. So that communications allowed that CD8 cells that the other cell which I am communicating is the target cell. Once the CD8 cells establish this connection, that triggered that CD8 cells to execute its function. It's not triggered that CD8 cells to become something. It is already become something. That CD8 cell is now required to execute the job. So this communication will let the CD8 cells know, will give the CD8 cells a license to kill. And then it start doing the things. What are those things? I will be telling you. It starts doing all the monstrous stuff, and that cell then eventually become dead. And we will see how they're able to push the cells from a living entity into a dead cell. Okay, so the CD8 cells, particularly, especially the CTLs, their job is to remove the cancer cells, is to remove the tumors. So most of the time, we do not develop cancers. In most cases, we do not develop cancer. And that is, we should be thankful for these cells. Because if there is a normal cell layers out there, for example, this is an epithelial cells. a normal epithelial cells are growing at some place. If it happens that out of all these cells, if one of the cells started behaving in a different way, the rest of the cells are fine, and one of the cells started behaving in a different way. This is called neoplasia, the conversion of a normal cell into a cancer cell. The rate of cell division increases and it started producing a lot of bad cells. It's an abnormal looking activity over there. So all cells are nice and fine, they are regular, they are beautiful, but look at these weird looking cells over there. They started increasing their number rapidly, and eventually they will become and converted into a mass of cells, which is called as the tumor. Now, if you ask me whether the APCs, the antigen presenting cells, whether they are not passing through this region, whether they are not going through that part, answer is yes. They are traveling, they are passing by all those regions. Lot of similar sort of activities are going on within our bodies, and we are lucky that in most cases the APCs and our immune system is able to detect these weird looking cells. Now, a very important question you can ask to me is, sir, under what conditions that APCs will be able to detect those cells? Because whether you like it or not, if you try to compare the normal cell between this cancer cell, so this is a normal cell. If you want to compare these two cells with this cancer cell, oh my God. If you compare these two cells together, they almost have a similar sort of cellular structures. Both of them have human nuclear DNA, the answer is yes. Both of them has almost similar sort of receptors as well, the answer is yes. So how it is possible for any immune cell or for an APC to start making a difference between these two type of cells? How it is possible that it started feeling, oh my God, this is a normal cell, this is the cancer? It's very difficult for the APCs. This cancer cell must be very weird, I can tell you, if you want that your immune system should be able to detect it. It should start producing something, a very weird site of receptor or a very weird version of a protein which was not there in the normal cell. So first thing, this should be very different by mutation or because of XYZ. This is very important. That the cancer cell should start producing a mutated version of a protein which was not there, which looks very weird and very different. That might trigger the APCs or our immune system to detect that thing as a bad thing. And we start having our immune function. And once we have immune function, we will be able to remove and delete those cells. And who will come and delete those cells? You know, the cytotoxic T cells or CTLs will come, and then they will going to remove and eradicate those cells. But let's come back to the original understanding. Please stay with me, it's an important thing. So the cancer cell should produce an antibody or should produce something which make it quite different than the normal cell in terms of protein structure or maybe overall phenotype. That will attract the immune system that something weird is here. And then they start their immune reaction. You know what that immune reaction is. Another thing is that the cancer cell or the bad cell should start producing something weird, should start producing a chemical which was not there in a normal cell. You know, the cancer cell, the primary agenda of the cancer cell is to go for the cell division, is to divide and proliferate and start producing more cells. They don't care whether they have enough food or not. They don't care about the other things as well. Now, in that process, they do not, if they don't have energy, they will start using whatever the resources they are having in their cells. They start using the proteins, they start using other important molecules to produce energy to go for the cell division. And that's very bad. But that will going to produce energy and the cancer cell will proceed further with proliferation. The bad thing is that the byproducts, those things are not normal, not regular. So the cancer cell will start producing byproducts which were not supposed to be there. Those byproducts can go to the system and those byproducts can attract the immune cells. Oh, something weird is going on. So that is how the immune system or immune cells might be able to detect the cancer cells. But the question is that once that's a very interesting understanding you should develop, that how an immune system will be able to detect that whether this cell is a cancer cell or a normal cell. These are the things which you should know. And last but not the least, if the immune system came to know about the bad thing, who will be the one who will going to kill those cells? Those will be the CTLs, the cytotoxic T cells. They will be sent here. They will connect themselves with the cancer cells, and then they will release the chemicals and they will kill the cancer. In the same way they kill the infected cell. This one is the infected cell. Remember, it has the virus or a bacteria. This what I'm explaining to you is the cancer cell. It's more complicated, more difficult. Okay, hope you understand this thing. So most of the statements I have already shared with you, that they are proceeding a different way than the CD4 cells. They are using different types of cytokines, especially the interferon gamma. That is the primary player in case of CD8 cells. Please remember that the interferon gamma is the function, is a very primary cytokine which involve in the functions of CD8 cells. And you can relate interferon now with the viral infection. I'm sure you might heard when the hepatitis C was a very famous disease and people were struggling to find a cure. You might remember interferons ke injection hote hain. They were interferon therapy to deal with the hepatitis C. So that means, and that at that time we are giving our body interferons so that our CD8 cells, the mechanism of having more CD8 cells will be pushed up. So we can create more cells which can kill the infected cells. So that was like an interferon therapy or interferon gamma. So we are giving cytokines to our body so that the mechanism which works against viruses should be upregulated. Okay, and they actually do, they kill the cells with different, using different techniques, well, like with the help of lysosomes. You know, lysosomes are the organelles which contains enzymes as well as acids and all these things. So they use this thing, the granules, the lysosomes, to kill the target cells. They also contains proteases, the ones who can chop off the proteins, and they also contains perforins. It's another thing. These are the chemical which can create pores in the cell membrane of the target cells. And also certain transcription factors are also involved in the activation in the gene expression of CD8 cells. That's also important information. The TBAD and other is the something like mesodermin, something I'm not able to pronounce it well. So these two mechanisms are required to activate the functions of CD8 cells. These two signaling pathways or expression of the genes allow the CD8 cells to produce all these things, which is required to execute the function. So when the CD8 cells came to know about the bad things, the place was the same, granule in our lymph node. This is the place where they spend time with each other. That does not mean the CD4 cells are not there. Remember, that does not mean the CD4 cells are not. CD4 cells are there. We are only studying about the CD8 cells at this time. So the naive CD8 cells, they came to know about the bad things, about the virus, about the infected cells. And remember, you should always keep an eye on this thing, that the CD8 cells, they communicate with the APCs with the different sets of MHC, and that is a different MHC. And when it proliferate, it started proliferation, and the rest of the differentiation occurred when they were traveling within the blood vessels. So when they are moving within the blood vessels, they grow more, they develop more, and they differentiate more, and eventually become cytotoxic T cells. So whenever they found the infected cells, the information about the infection was transferred here. So the CD8 cells were educated within the lymph node about the infection, and they got differentiated, become the killers, and those killers start moving like here and there. And then whenever they found the bad things, they start killing those infected cells. Now think about all this thing in the perspective of HCV, hepatitis C virus. So the HCV virus is supposed to grow in the, if I draw the cells well, they are supposed to grow in the liver. So they are supposed to grow in the liver cells, the hepatitis C virus. So from whatever the route the hepatitis C virus managed to enter into our body, from the blood transfusion or from other places, the hepatitis C virus will not going to survive anywhere else within our body. They need the liver cells to grow and to replicate. So if they manage to reach the liver cells, they are successful. If they failed, they will be killed by our immune system. So once if they manage to reach to the liver cell, what will happen? So this is the hepatitis C virus. This is the liver cell. So the hepatitis C virus able to penetrate into the cell membrane, deliver its genetic material, and that genetic material enters into the nucleus of the liver cell. Within the nucleus of the liver cells, the genetic material of the hepatitis C virus become incorporated into our own human genome. It will become part of the nuclear DNA of the host cells. And then they start producing the viral messenger RNA. Those viral messenger RNA will produce the proteins, and those proteins assembles to produce new hepatitis C viruses. And after that, when the resources of that cell are gone, this cell will become dead or burst and start producing more hepatitis C viruses. And those hepatitis C viruses will then infect the next one, they will infect the next one, and that is how the liver become damaged, 10%, 15%, 20%, and that is how the person will start losing the function of the liver. It works in this way. Now think, now whatever the viruses they are producing, some of those viruses will be captured by the APCs. Okay, some of those viruses will be captured by the APCs. The APCs will communicate that information. Look at that here. The APC will communicate that information to the CD8 cells. The CD8 cells will be able to understand about the virus. The CD8 cells will become differentiated. They will differentiate it in a way that now they are trained to kill any cell which is carrying the ACV. They will move around the body. They will go to the brain. They will go to the lungs. They will go to the all parts of the body. They will not going to harm any cell, although they are killers. But when they enters into the liver, so look at that. Now this is the liver. Now when they enter into the liver, these CD8 cells found SCP infected cells. So in the liver, they came to know about the target cells. They meet with the target cells, and here they start doing their job. They will start killing they start deleting those cells which will become bad. They start deleting those, and that is how they try to stop the spread of the infection. Now think, when we do this differentiation process, required interferon gamma. Okay, this one required interferon gamma, this differentiation process. So if you deliberately give a drug from outside body, if you deliberately give the interferon gamma from outside the body, what you are doing, you are helping your cytotoxic T cells to become differentiated faster than normal. You are producing more killers in your body so that they can activate and they can go and they can start the process of killing. They start killing the infected hepatitis C cells. So that is how these things works. And at the same time, they start producing the memory cells as well. Okay. So the helper cells, sorry, we did not talk about the CD4 cells yet, but in the earlier slide, we have already shared this thing. I'm sure aap logon ko aata hoga, and I'm sure Daniel can explain this thing now, that how a CD8 cell is become activated through the helper T cells. So this is like a direct activation or activation at the same place. So that APC is communicating information with the CD4 as well as with the CD8. And you can see this information is communicated using a different sort of MSC. This MSC is different, this MSC is different. Once that connection is established, the CD4 cells release the cytokines. Those cytokines will then activate the CD8 cells and convert them into the killers or the cytotoxic T cells. And then CD4 cells can indirectly activate the APCs. When they find the APCs, they use these combinations, of course, stimulation, activate the APCs and make the APCs more, I must say, more toxic, more bad, with more lysosomes, with more MSCs, with more function, activation of APC. And then that activated version of APC will be able to push the CD8 cells to become cytotoxic T cells. The process of differentiation will be faster. So these things we have studied in our earlier class as well. Okay. And then there are certain cytokines you should know as a researcher. You should know those cytokines and their role. I have explained interferon gamma to you guys, how interferon therapy works in case of hepatitis C. You can see the some other things as well. For example, interleukin 2 is there. You should know how interleukin 2 and the type 1 interferons have both been shown to stimulate. As I told you, both of them are known to stimulate differentiation of naive CDs. Process of differentiation will be boosted up in the presence of interferons. Okay, so all these things are important if you want to study the job. So last thing you should know, that once everything is done, once the job is done, the T cells are required to delete as well. But before that, let me explain this slide. This is a very important slide as well, where we will study what that means, the T cell exhaustion. It means a killer cell is made, what I will say, non-toxic. Let's see how. So for example, if there is an infected cell over there, look at that infected cell. And let me tell you one more thing, that how our APCs are able to know about the infection. One more thing, an extra thing. So there is an infected cell. That infected cells contains the nucleus. The big one is the nucleus, and these small are the virus particles. It is about to die. So the APC eat that one. Okay. The APC eat that cell, the dying cell, which contains the virus. So once this is destroyed, this one is destroyed into simple fragments. Most of the antigens produced, they are human antigens, but some of the antigens which came from the virus, and that can be communicated with the other cells. So it is like all the cell.
But I have a question.
All the cell is engulfed by the APCs. G.
Sir, during this process, why is the APC not affected by the virus?
Yeah, APC is when APC is eating the cell, that means the APC is like a cell which is capable of eating the other cell. Now, whatever that cell is, that cell will be chopped off or cleaved. When an APC is infected, that's a different thing. So there are two different things: infection of the APC. In fact, APCs got infected, then the APC personality will be hurt, will be disturbed, or the APC is eating another cell. So if the virus attacks the APC, that will going to disrupt the function of APC, which you are talking about. What I am telling you is the APC eating another cell, which is dying and like almost finished. That's a natural and normal process. याद रखना. Our cells, जिनकी उम्र पूरी हो जाती है, the ones who are supposed to die, मतलब वो कहाँ जाते हैं? कभी सोचा है कहाँ जाते हैं? मजे की बात है ना? Our cells were dying. Lots of cells are dying within our bodies. They are actually eaten up and recycled by those cells. ठीक है? But when they were eaten up, most of the things belongs to humans. So no communication is required to the immune system. Nothing special is to share with our immune system. But if there is something weird out there, so that is required to be communicated with the immune system. So when it is communicated with the immune system, those cells they got activated. Now the natural phenomena is that when the APC shared that information with the naive T cells, the naive T cells proceed in two ways. They will proceed in one of the ways that they will become differentiated. They found the bad cell and they kill the bad cell. Okay, since they came to know about the trouble, as I explained earlier. And they also releases interferon gamma that activated the procedure, and that increases the process of differentiation, drawing more CD8 cells and pushing and having more function. That's we have studied this thing. Okay, this part we have studied. Now what about the other, this thing? This is a unfortunate situation that the CD8 cells came to know about the virus, came to know about the bad thing, about the antigen, got education, become activated or differentiated. Now it found the bad cell. It found the bad cell. So this is the bad cell. It found the bad cell. The bad cell means the infected cell. But that infected cell is human cell. The infected cell is a human cell. Although it contains virus, although it contains all the bad things, but the structure, nuclear DNA, cell membrane proteins, all are like human. If you ask me, it contains the MSC, the answer is yes. It contains the MSC. If you ask me, it contains the B7, the answer is yes, it contains the B7 receptor. If the B7 receptor talks with the CD, what was that? I don't remember, CD28, something like that. If this communication is there, the T cells become activated. But what if the B7 touch the CTLA4? What if the B7 touch the CTLA4? In that case, what will happen? The activation of T cells is blocked. This is an inhibitor. That's the one way. The other possibility is that there is a PD-1 ligand domain present on the human cells. This domain helps the human cells not to get an attack from our own immune system. Okay, the PD-1 domain present on our cells help our cells, they tag our cells that no immune system, no immune cell should attack on our own human cells. So it's like a fail-safe option present on our cells. Sometimes it happens, and most of the time it happens, that the cells, the T cells got confused because of the presence of this PD-1 domain. If the PD-1 ligand, or this is called PD-1L, PD-1 ligand domain is there, that will be touched by the PD-1 domain present on the T cells. If the PD-1 PDL connection is established, this one, if this connection is established, that means a signal, that signal means that this is our own cell. This is our own human cell, and this killer cell is not allowed to kill that cell. So now the connection is there. The CD8 cell found the bad guy, but the bad guy is communicating with the help of B7 CTLA4 and with the help of PD-1 PDL communication. These two communication means that this cell is not supposed to die. This belongs to us. So this is a very unfortunate situation in which all the resources of our body is used to produce this killer cell, and the killer cell found the bad guy and it is not able to kill the bad guy because of the presence of these two confusing or false signals. These are not actually false signals, but these are the signals which actually fool the CD8 cells, and that is how they survive. And the CD8 cells become exhausted. So it's a very important information. Please remember, our own cells, they carry the PD1L or PD-1 ligand domain that tags us, keeps us safe from the actions of the killer cells. So the immune cells, the cytotoxic T cells or the CD8 cells, when they found the PD-1 ligand domain with the help of the PD-1 receptor, they came to know with this communication and crosstalk that this is our own cell. I am not allowed to kill that thing. So it does not release any bad stuff. It does not release any chemicals. But what if this connection is not there? In that case, it came to know, oh, this is a bad thing, so I need to kill it. Many cancer cells fool our immune system because of this PD-1 PDL ligand. Many cancer cells fool our immune system with the help of this CTLA4 way. And I have shared these two things. It's a very important and wonderful information you should take away from me. Okay, so the CTL cells. जी 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 ऑटोइम्यूनिटी में ये हो सकता है
सर ऑटोइम्यून
जी 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 प्लीज आपकी आवाज रुक रही है
सर अब आ रही है
जी जी जी
हेलो जी ऑटोइम्यून में जब वो अपने सेल्स को अटैक कर रहे होते हैं तो क्या ये वो लाइगेंड का मसला होता है या फिर क्या
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल यू आर राइट in a one situation of autoimmune disease is that the PD1L domain present on the normal cell, which helps our immune cells to understand that this is our own Fauji, this is our own soldier, this is our own part. If this gone mad, if this is not there, if this is mutated because of some XYZ reason, then this cell become vulnerable, and CD8 cells might be able to kill that thing. This is one of the reason, one of the many ways that this autoimmune disease hoti. Okay, I don't have enough time in this session, so I will going to catch you in the second session, and I will explain the remaining couple of slides of this lecture.